Hey, welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. Now, this past week, some really big trailers came out. And if you are a geek, this is an awesome time to be one. And so the first one we're going to start off with is Spider-Man Homecoming, the official trailer 2. Now, in terms of the ones that are my favorite for the Spider-Man movies, it definitely has to be Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2. I really enjoyed those a lot. And the rest of them afterwards, they were just meh. Now, one of the big things that Marvel has done ever since with the first Iron Man, Avengers, and all the other movies and properties they've done after that under the whole Disney umbrella, they've really taken it seriously. And then that's had spread across all their other Marvel properties, even on other company studios. Now, I will say, after watching Logan, you can watch my review down in the description below. That, in my opinion, is the best. Tied with Avengers, the best comic book movie I've seen. And it's really going to be hard for other comic book movies after that to really hold up to that level. Okay, so I just want to put that out of the way. So there is some bias on my end. But this new one, the Spider-Man Homecoming, this is another retelling of it. And it stars Tom Holland, who I really enjoyed in the Captain America's the Civil War movie. He did a really great job, and I'm looking forward to him. So this one, it's more of, I would say, the teenage years of Spider-Man, and Tobey Maguire did a little of it, but, it still didn't seem right, in terms of, like, age-wise, And here, the main villain on this one is actually going to be a Vulture, okay, or basically a mechanized version of Vulture. And so that has been an ongoing nemesis for Spider-Man for a long time. And the one who is going to be playing Vulture is Michael Keaton, so that's cool. So I'm kind of going all over the place in this case because I just want to go over some of the high points. Now this scene with Robert Downey Jr. or Tony Stark in this one, this is the one that was in the other trailer, but it gives more sense that this Spider-Man Homecoming is going to have a lot of humor, and Tony Stark is going to be a big part of this, and he's going to make an appearance as Iron Man as well, as we all know. And here, really funny scenes with Spider-Man and his friend, and so it's an origin story at the same time, and that is one thing that, I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of over that. I'm kind of bored of seeing origin stories, and so hopefully this will retell it in a way that is funny and new at the same time. So he looks like, besides Tony Stark, he's the only one who knows his true identity. Here, I think there was a shot here where he saw Captain America, and then his students or other friends are asking whether or not he knew him. So as you go on and on, there's some really humorous stuff, and if you are a fan of the comic book series, there were some there that there was like a fat Spider-Man, so that's kind of funny. So at the same time, as you go on, you see more of Michael Keaton. And Michael Keaton, if any of you remember, he was the original Batman in the 1989 Batman movie by I can't remember the director's name, by Tim Burton, I'm sorry. And I absolutely love that movie. And Michael Keaton is a fantastic actor, for people who don't remember who he is, or aren't old enough to know who Michael Keaton is, he used to do a lot of comedies. He's similar to Tom Hanks in that they really started in the comedian realm, but then they delved into drama and action, and they're a fantastic actor. So I think having Michael Keaton here is definitely gonna add a lot more to the story, because it seems like he's not just a typical bad guy, okay? And Marvel movies have always had a problem with the villains, and so he's more of a complex villain. He mentions a lot about, his family, and so he's doing it for other reasons, and hopefully they'll, really delve into that. And briefly, just looking at his suit, this is more of a mechanized version of it, and Marvel and DC, they have to make some modern changes as well, because if he had his original Vulture costume, that just really wouldn't look right in a movie, okay? And so here you see more of a Tony Stark, really being a mentor, and almost like a father figure to Parker, who is Spider-Man. And so that'd be really interesting, and it'll play really well into the whole Infinity War movie that'll be out later. And here, a little bit more action. I really do dig this suit. It looks awesome. So I like the Amazing Spider-Man portions of it. I mean, there's been so many Spider-Man suits, okay? So I really, really like the way this looks. And so this is actually the suit that is done by Tony Stark. Okay, so Tony Stark Industries created this suit. And here we see more action points with the Vulture, him rescuing people. And this one right here is very, very reminiscent of other scenes in other Spider-Man movies, if I remember correctly. But it is also a shot taken right out of comic books. So, and specifically like the very first appearance of Spider-Man in the comic books, where he has that particular pose, you know. Yeah, so a lot of comic book elements. And there, once again, there's Tony Stark as Iron Man helping out Spider-Man. And there's going to be some more seems like more serious moments in here too with Tony Stark and Tony Parker. So that's going to be awesome. So I really do hope that, you know, as we go through this trailer, I really hope that they really get in depth more into the character, you know, and not just be another standard origin story. And I guess that's a villain. And there again, Vulture, more action scenes. And here, Michael Keaton, or I keep calling Michael Keaton because he is Michael Keaton. He keeps threatening Spider-Man. And here, looks like he's got the upper hand. And there's Spider-Man right there. So, yeah. It does definitely look enjoyable. And I think this one right here, this is when before he had, let me see, before he had the suit. Yeah, that's the one that he made on his own. So, lots of action. And lots of humor. There's this original suit, so I am looking forward to it. But once again, you know, after seeing Logan, it's gonna be tough for comic book movies to just rehash what they've already done. So that's the first one. Now another comic book movie is the Justice League. This is the full official trailer. This is gonna be a huge one for DC, especially after the pretty much disappointing Batman versus Superman. So most people have already seen this, but you know, I want to go over it again. So here, this is Batman. Not sure what he's looking for, but he's out in a mountain somewhere. And then, you know, he has to get everybody together because, well, Darkseid is coming, or Darkseid's henchman, Steppenwolf. And here is, well, I can't get to that shot, but yeah, so. And I can't remember the name of the actual creatures from Darkseid. I can't remember, but for people who are familiar with, they'll know who it is. That's Wonder Woman asking that the enemies are already here. And then there's Aquaman. Man, Aquaman looks awesome. You know, this is definitely a really good change, you know, because Aquaman is typically, you know, I don't know, it's been kind of corny, okay? And there's Cyborg. Now, Cyborg, this is where I'm like, okay, like if I had to get into some negatives right away of the trailer, is the fact that the CG, there's a lot of CG and some of it just doesn't look good. Like right there, I'm sorry, that just looks so unrealistic, you know. And so, and let me show a little clip. So see, that looks so fake right there. And I understand this is early, you know, won't be out till November, so hopefully they'll fix that. And then as you go along, there's this scene from the first trailer, which was my favorite scene with Batman and the Flash. That was definitely my favorite scene from the first trailer. And then as you move forward, you actually get to see some action with Batman. You know, I really, really enjoy him as Batman. I can't believe I can't remember his name, but yeah. So that looks like a cool shot. Action. Okay, great. Yeah, great. And then Wonder Woman action. So we'll see what happens after her Wonder Woman movie. Cyborg with the actual helmet that folds up. And this was a really funny scene when I remember his name now, Ben Affleck, duh. So he has a conversation with him, and then he's like, well, what's your superpower? And I'm rich. And that was funny. That was probably my favorite scene out of this whole trailer, because that is a superpower, you know. And they make fun of Batman, you know, because he is the only one in the team that doesn't have a superpower. But Ben Affleck, man, I think he's an awesome Batman. So here, action scenes, fighting, okay, Flash, showing off some power. There's Aquaman. I forgot her name, but she's from Aquaman's world. Mamera, I think that's her name. And here's a really huge shot of all the enemies fighting, you know, and that's going to be cool, you know. And so there's Amazonian warriors. So who knows? This might be an all-out epic battle between Darkseid's forces or Steppenwolf's forces in this case versus all the other heroes and their forces behind them. So it won't be just an individual thing. What I'm hoping that would be the case, then that would be pretty awesome. It'd be really epic, you know. So more action, more action. And let me see. Yeah, and that's some comedy right there. There's Alfred, or not Alfred, Commissioner Gordon, Aquaman, action scene. So overall, the Justice League trailer, it's good. You know, it's good. But the problems that I had, as I mentioned earlier, first is the CG. Okay, the CG. I get CG, but you know, after a certain point, you know, it's just might as well do practical elements because it just looks fake. You know, even the action scenes look fake. And then another thing that kind of worries me about the Justice League, similar to what I said about the other one, it's generic. You know, it's another origin story. You know, and there was a shot of Lois Lane in here somewhere, so Spider-Man should show up. You know, but it looks generic to me. Okay, that's my biggest thing. You know, and hopefully I'm wrong on that, but there's a lot riding on this Justice League movie. Okay, so the very last trailer is Death Note. Now this one is I would say controversial, you know, and anybody who knows the controversy that surrounded Ghost in the Shell with the quote-unquote whitewashing, and the same thing is happening with Death Note. Okay, now I myself, in my opinion, I mean, I understand why they do it because it is a business first. Okay, so all of these entertainment properties, they actually have to be marketable and they have to make their money back. And so with that being the case, to be realistic, you know, more people are going to be comfortable around the world with a character that's not an Asian character, even though the source material was originally Asian, or in this case, anime Asian, right? And so that's the reason why they do that. And it makes sense, and although not everybody will agree with it. But after that, after controversy, in the end, I just want this to be a really good piece of entertainment. And I did enjoy the Death Note anime series. And in this case, this one really looks to follow that really, really closely. Okay, there's the Death Note book. And, you know, if you remember the story, he's this teenager, and he's being bullied, and he has problems at school with people. And then when he finds this book, and then he realizes the power that it has to kill people that he doesn't like just by simply writing the names of the people in this Death Note book. Yeah, it gets really, really interesting. And we also see the creature. And it's been a while since I watched anime, so I cannot remember the creature's name. Let me see if it shows a shot right here. Well, the kids are doing crazy stuff. They're like jumping off buildings and stuff. So yes, Kira. Yeah, there it is. That's the name of the. I think that's the name of the creature. Let me see if it shows a shot of it. And this is just the teaser trailer. There it is. There's a creature back there. Where is it? I didn't get a good shot of that. Let me see if I could get a good shot of that. So you don't really see the whole creature yet, but it looks like it's going to be very close to the original designs, just with all the spikes, just the crazy looking evilness that demon is, you know. So I'm really surprised by how much Netflix is really putting emphasis on diversifying their content. If you have a Netflix account, if you look at the anime section or the international section, you know, they have in the international section, they have movies from India, they have a lot of movies from Korea. There's even some Japanese movies, and there's a lot of Netflix produced movies for the whole international crowd, and TV shows as well. And so Netflix is doing something that a lot of these other providers are not. You know, they are producing content that is really viable internationally, and they're not dumb. They're choosing content that has the potential to make money. Okay, and I'm not sure how Netflix makes money. I don't know if it's determined by how many people watch it. I'm not really sure about that, but they're choosing properties that make sense, you know. And so after Death Note, you know, we will have a Castlevania series produced by Netflix as well. And so I'll be really interested to see how this turns out, especially we'll see how the reception is. So a Ghost in the Shell comes out this week. Even though this isn't on Netflix, you know, this is going to show more like a realistic version of anime, which is something that is not really popular or even like common in the US market, whereas in Japan they have a lot of action, live action based upon anime. So those are all the 3 big trailer reviews that I saw this week. My favorite out of all of them is the Spider-Man Homecoming. I enjoyed it, and I think it's going to be a fun movie. Now whether or not it's going to be original, I'm not really sure. I don't know. But right now, I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. I really do hope that with this particular version of the movie, that they do add more depth to the character, and also the more humorous teenager side, which I think that's the angle that they're going for. And Justice League, it looks good. It looks good, but could use some improvements. And Death Note, it is just basically a sign of things to come. So if this is successful, we're gonna have more anime related properties. Okay, so if you had any thoughts on any of these trailers, leave them in the comments area below. And as always, if you did get a lot of value in these videos, leave a like and subscribe. And if you want to support my channel further, you could do that at patreon.com/geekoutdoors. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in another episode. Thanks for checking out this episode. And as always, if you like these videos, be sure to click on the subscribe button. And for full written content, audio content, and additional geek stuff, head over to geekoutdoors.com, and I'll see you outdoors on the very next episode.